we make a general call for everyone, every citizen of Jamaica, to support and use their influence. In a national emergency, such as a pandemic, we in the government of Jamaica would enlist the support of all well-thinking citizens in encouraging persons to take the vaccine. And this is a general call in terms of how the government would structure its programs. The existence of a pandemic, of an emergency, does not always justify the dispensing of rules and regulations and laws and policies and principles in the design of programs. So we make a general call for everyone, every citizen of Jamaica, to support and use their influence. We have reached out to persons in the churches, for example, in the entertainment industry. We're reaching out in the political fraternity. We've reached out in the business community. Now, not everyone can immediately come out and say, my fraternity is going to support or my fraternity won't support. Within their fraternity, they will find their own ways of mobilizing. But the government, to be clear, has reached out to all citizens of Jamaica. We do, however, have a national program, and that program has to follow procurement rules. It has to follow all the laws and guidelines and procedures that surround it. And so that will prescribe how we engage. So my short answer to you is, we encourage everyone of all walks of life, wherever you are, whatever your status, whatever your station, if you can support and add your voice, please go ahead and do so. You don't necessarily need to be signed on to a government program. But the government itself, within its own laws, with its own rules and principles, we have designed programs. And those programs, we work together with the various sectors, the various fraternities, and they are mobilizing in their own.
Next question, Prime Minister. Does your indication that Floyd Green will be using other sections or other areas of the government perhaps undermines the chastening of his resignation?
No. I think it's very important that example be set. That if you hold authority, and in any way that authority which relies upon people's confidence, and you have to have the support of persons, and in any way that confidence might be challenged or eroded, or it could challenge the support you have, then the important thing to do is to step back, as Minister Green has done. However, Minister Green, former Minister Green, still remains a member of Parliament. And in Parliament, there are certain functions which members of Parliament are entitled to do. And within our government, and we have seen where we need to strengthen our committees. And I'm seeing where having former Minister Green being available to serve and lead some of those committees could be quite beneficial.
When we're sending signals about accountability, that we don't dilute them or make them look like they're a facade. You know, former Minister Green did something which was unacceptable to the society, and he had to step back, and that is, I think, the right decision. And I think after an appropriate period of time and due penitence on his part, and showing a new maturity to these important issues, his future will be bright, I'm sure. So, you know, I personally think that this is not the time to be trying to find avenues to serve, you know, to sort of reaccommodate him elsewhere. He's an MP and he can play that role as an MP.
So we're almost at 700,000 people, I guess, at the end of the day mark, we cross the 700,000 mark.
First dose.
Of everybody getting a dose.
Yeah.
So that is significant. I'm seeing the numbers starting to peter out a little bit. And that's the challenge with that mark, is that people are reacting by fear. So when the the infection numbers are high, the bed counts are high, and the death is high, you will see more people out of fear coming to the center. Now, as I've said before, we can't run the country on fear. We have to run the country on people being informed. And part of it was, a young lady stopped me right here, and she was saying to me, Prime Minister, it's not that I'm against the vaccine. I'm just not sure if she should take the vaccine. As I asked her, do you have an underlying condition that was serious? She pointed out to me that she was asthmatic. And I said to her, listen, the disease, COVID-19, affects it's a serious acute respiratory illness. And if you're asthmatic, it is, your lungs and your breathing could be affected. So more than anyone else should consider taking it seriously. But obviously, consult your doctor and make sure. And I pointed out to her that over 2 billion people are in the world have taken the vaccine. I just saw that China was putting out that almost 70% of their population would have had one dose. So I believe genuinely that there are some fears and concerns that are real and legitimate. And I believe both of us have never said that those fears should not be contemplated. There are no riskless activity in that. However, on the balance of risks, the risks are far more dangerous and immediate for not taking the vaccine. What we know, 95% of persons in the hospital who are seriously ill with COVID-19 did not take.
I would also say that if we're plateauing a bit, I think we need to ramp up the messaging even more and get some persons like medical practitioners who are good at communication to show why it makes sense, what the risks are, how small those risks are, and what issues may be in people's minds that are not really a reason not to take the step to protect themselves by vaccination, and other influential members of the society, because we really need to ramp this up. If we're getting past 700,000 single doses now, we still have a long way to go. And the procurement of sufficient vaccines is part of the issue that we have to maintain, but also getting people on board. And we've made a good start, but we have a long way to go. So I'd love to encourage more effective messaging and distribution like this. What we're here today in Spanish Town Road in South West St. Andrew, Prime Minister and I are both here because we both know that this is a national issue, it's not a political issue. We have to persuade our population to see the benefits of vaccination. The countries that are getting back on their feet are countries which have achieved high levels of vaccination so they can reduce the restrictions and get life back to normal and economic activity can resume fully. Until we get there, we can't really do that. And it's hampering us. So everybody is in our interest as a nation and as individuals to get vaccination unless there is a solid medical reason or a reason of conscience because of your own particular beliefs which say don't do it. But most people are not in that category. Most people are just a little bit unsure or heard some information that they don't understand and which is kind of turning them off, and we need to get to those people and get them on board.